What's going on, everybody? It's Coop here to give you a review of one of my favorite TV shows on TV right now. Blunt Talk is back on the air. Season 2 just came out with their premiere, so let's go over episode 1, shall we? The show starts off with Walter Blunt and his good man Harry getting ready for a shoot or their show for the evening. And they walk into the scene, and Martin's the first one to make an appearance, and he's got a new hairdo. He says that it's his girlfriend that styles his hair for him, and it's still the same girlfriend as before, so the new Rosalie is still in the picture, everybody. Then they're walking down the hallway introducing each cast member again. Jim and Celia are seen in the hallway French kissing each other. That is a fantastic sight to see. Those two are a couple. Basically, Blunt says, "Hey, knock it off. There's a strip throat going around." Shelley looks over at Celia and says, "Oh, I just wish that you guys would stop dating so I can go down on you once a week." Shelley is still obsessed with sex, as you could tell. And then basically they do a show. And then after that scene, it goes to a bus scene where Blunt sees a woman through the glass. He tells the bus driver, "Stop." He gets off and he tries chasing this girl down. Bumps into a person, some guy. They freeze frame in on him for like 2-3 seconds, and then they cut back to the same scene where he's still chasing this girl down. And it ended up she disappears out of nowhere. And apparently this woman name is Cornelia. Apparently she must be from Walter Blunt's history. So this must be a new girl that's being brought into the show. I noticed in this episode, Walter Blunt seems to be swearing a lot more. He uses the F word a few times in this show. As even in the bus scene, he said to the bus driver, "Hey, I'm Walter fucking Blunt. Stop the bus." So I'm expected to see hopefully some more swearing by Walter Blunt in this season. So if any kids are watching, make sure you do bleeps whenever you hear that. I'm not sure what kid is watching this show right now on Starz Network, but it's good to know that they're going more R-rated, or I don't know if it's R-rated. There's no killings or anything like that in this show yet. I'm not sure if they'll get to that point, but it's 18 plus, I guess. We'll put it that way. Next scene is Walter Blunt and Harry in bed, and Walter Blunt is taking his meds, aka alcohol, and Harry and Sylvia. That's right, Sylvia from season 1, who had a little love affair going on with Harry, are living together now. That is fantastic. That is fantastic for Harry. Good for him, man. So that means Sylvia is giving him the pleasure that she wants. Excellent. Jim and Celia apparently have been dating for 3 months. That is what they've said in their next scene, where Celia is talking to Jim's mother by FaceTime. That's pretty interesting to know that Celia is the one doing the talking now with Jim's mother and trying to take care of Jim more. As, you know, Jim seems pretty lost. Jim reminds me of me. Except, I'm not into a foot fetish like he is. But it's good to see that Celia's taking care of him. But it's good to know that they've been dating for around 3 months. It was their 3-month anniversary on the show. So congratulations to them. And they're even using a private phone line with each other, which is the old cans that are connected to each other from each room with a piece of string. And it's the old school phone lines. That got me cracking up. Duncan Adler was arrested at the scene where they weren't covering it, but somebody was covering the story where Duncan Adler, who was in the last season of Blunt Talk, the environmentalist nutcase, is finally arrested, and then Bob, the chief of the network, wants to do a story on Duncan Adler. And Walter Blunt wants nothing to do with this, but Bob says, yes, you should do it. We're going to be on their asses for 3 months. So expect a long storyline with him back in the picture again. Maybe down the road they'll probably release him if they feel bad for him. That's my guess. And they go to back in the room where they're trying to suggest storylines, and they want to do a colonoscopy story where Celia suggested that they should do this because Jim might have to get a colonoscopy to see what's going on with him. And the newsroom likes it. So they want to do a story on that. But they want to do a live coverage, I think, with Jim. That's going to be an interesting thing. Next scene is Walter Blunt in his therapy sessions, except it's Dr. Mendelsohn this time. And if you guys remember him, he's the dance therapist from season 1. Good to see him back on the show, and you can tell he's a cat lover. He's holding his cat, saying that they've been together for 18 years, and he's got a fear of the cat dying any second, any day now. That's a damn old cat. I'll put it that way. Cornelia White is a big thing in the show because the after Walter Blunt leaves the room, he asks his newsroom to look up Cornelia White, and he says that they were lovers 30 years ago, or he was in love with her. We'll put it that way. And then a flashback kicks in from 30 years ago, where it says they've been liking each other for a few months, and surprisingly, Blunt has hair. You can definitely tell it's a wig because it looks like a Donald Trump look to him, but with gray hair. You gotta laugh at that a bit. And we figured out also from this flashback that Walter Blunt was married at the time and is getting a divorce because he wants to be with this woman. She rejects him, saying that I did not want you to leave your wife, and I'm guessing that's how they stopped seeing each other. So, next scene, Shelley has almost the whole broadcast team do a breast exam on her, and it's basically started with Martin asking Celia if she was touching her breasts again, and he's like, "What are you doing?" And she's trying to find for lumps, and so they go in a different room, and Martin is trying to find lumps, and then the whole crew, one at a time, goes in the room, and they're checking Shelley out. Everybody's touching Shelley's breasts just to see if they can feel any lumps or anything. That was quite funny to watch. The next scene is Celia finding Walter Blunt, saying that they found Cornelia White. They found the phone number to call where she's staying at, so Walter Blunt calls her at her hotel room, leaves a creepy message. Well, not really creepy, just like, it's been forever since I've seen you. It's been 30 years. I've got a show now. I've got a car. So I'm trying to show off on the message machine. And then they go to the studio. They do their show, and then when it's a break, Celia comes out with a message for Walter Blunt saying that Cornelia accepts and wants to go for dinner tonight with him. So after that, we see a scene where Walter Blunt is at the bar waiting for Cornelia, and Cornelia shows up. And so right away, she's like, I just wanted to come have a drink. And, well, maybe that's already a hint that she might be an alcoholic. So that might be a big factor for those two. Then the next scene is basically Celia and Jim are talking about Jim's colonoscopy, and Celia says, okay, you can go through it. You'll be a hero if you do. And then she shows Jim her feet, and Jim's a foot fetish guy, so all he does is take her feet and just smells it. Doesn't lick it or anything like that. You know, Rex Ryan, if you're listening right now, you can take some pointers from Jim. So he just starts smelling her feet, and yeah. Then they cut to a few other scenes where Rosalie is singing at a bar where she has a fantastic voice. Walter Blunt and Cornelia are eating dinner, and once again she mentions that, you know what we should do? Why don't we just grab something to eat so we can fill our bellies so we can drink more? So she must be a drinker, and well, I'm not sure if this is going to be a good thing for Walter Blunt or not. So we'll find out how this storyline goes with them. And then basically the next scene, Martin is in the shower in the bathroom, and he's looking at a breast exam pamphlet. So he's checking himself to see if he have some lumps on him. So Shelley's got the whole place paranoid, or I guess it was Jim that started with it. And then the last scene, Walter Blunt and Cornelia are on a balcony looking at Los Angeles, and then the last scene we see somebody looking through binoculars at those two, and it was very weird. It was this guy, and surprisingly, it was the guy at the beginning of the episode where Walter Blunt runs into him accidentally. So who is this guy that is stalking Walter Blunt? I don't know. Maybe it's just a weird coincidence that this guy, as soon as Walter Blunt bumped into him, this guy just wanted to start stalking him. I don't know how this is going to go down, but that was super creepy. So that is my review of Season 2, Episode 1 of Blunt Talk. Thank you guys very much, guys and girls, for listening to this review. If you've enjoyed this, I will gladly do a lot more for you guys for each episode. Make sure you push that subscribe button, and I will be back next week with another review of Season 2, Episode 2 of Blunt Talk.